Hi, we're the Ephraim's family.
And we're hitting the road around Tasmania
in an Apollo motorhome. Let's roll.
My first impressions of Port Arthur were amazing. The old buildings, the history, the information, I really liked it.
I really loved how Port Arthur made history come alive for the kids. We talk so much about Australia's convict history, so to see what it really looked like, to see the diversity of the buildings and to think about not just the convicts that lived here but the free settlers, the governor, just to see how people lived and breathed here. It was really, really interesting.
The gardens were amazing. There's no other way to put it. It was just, everything was immaculate. There was no flaw about it, basically.
I really enjoyed the walking tour because this year I was in Year 5 and we learnt a lot about the convicts down here. It was just interesting to see all the harsh conditions they would have had to live in, and it was amazing to see all the old buildings still here. My favourite part of the day today is when we got to go on the cruise.
We got to see like all the different islands and stuff, like the boy prison area and the Isles of the Dead, where they buried all the people who had died here.
I would so totally recommend Port Arthur for people to come and see, spend a day here. It is well worth the time.
Lots to see and do, indoor and outdoor activities. I think it's a great place for families. Amber's Chocolates was a really fun experience for us. There's a little gift shop out the front that sells all of their special chocolates.
In the gift shop, it was lots and lots of chocolates, and it was really fun to try and taste the chocolates.
And then out the back you could actually see where the chocolates were being made.
The factory manager there took us on a tour and the kids got a chance to make their own chocolate frogs.
And she taught us that a machine does mostly everything, keeping it warm and up to pace, and just it's a big wheel that goes round and around and around.
I learned that chocolate making isn't as easy as it seems. We got to keep the chocolate frogs in the end, and it was really cool because we got to eat it and it was really nice, dark chocolate. I'd rate my visit to the Enver's Chocolate 10 out of 10. It was amazing. I got to do so much there, looking at all the history of chocolate and also making some.
Give me some more chocolate now.
Seahorse World is a tourist attraction, but it's also a farm where they grow seahorses to be sold for commercial purposes, and it stops people from fishing for them out in the wild, making sure that they sort of remain sustainable out in the ocean. So I think that's really important.
There's a person who takes you on a tour. The person that we had was really great. She was very knowledgeable, knew lots of information.
It's really interesting just to learn about seahorses. I mean, I learnt so many things. I learnt that seahorses can change colour within 48 to 72 hours.
I learnt that the dad seahorses actually have the babies, not the mum seahorse.
I really enjoyed using the touch tank.
I did get to touch the seahorse. It was really weird. The belly was really soft, but then this other parts of the skin was really hard. I like the sharks that were there as well because they're just really cool.
I was amazed on how many little teeth they had and how many rows of teeth that they had. The cuttlefish I found were really ghosty.
They were very see-through and you could just see right through them basically.
The sea dragons I found quite elegant. I didn't know that they existed in this world, so it was pretty amazing to see them in all different colours.
Seahorse World was a really great morning out for the family. We really enjoyed looking at all the different varieties of fish and seahorses, and there were lots of things for the children to do. We had a really great morning and we'd definitely go back again.
The first thing we did at Platypus House was we saw a video of the platypus. Basically, they did a documentary on the life of a platypus, and yeah, it was really interesting.
Watching the platypuses swim was different because their two back legs were turned around, so they'd swim in a different way than anyone would really think.
It was really cool and fascinating to see all the different platypuses and how they move, and I learned so much today.
The echidnas were definitely a highlight of the day.
I was quite amazed at how close they came. They weren't sort of afraid of us or anything. They kept walking around.
They had quite a lot of personality too, didn't
Yeah,
they?
they were really
quite
playful.
different. We'd recommend Platypus House for people who love animals. Just for someone wanting something a little bit different to your average zoo, being able to get up so close was a real treat for us.
Yeah, it's definitely great for the whole family.
When we got to Cradle Mountain, we jumped on a shuttle bus, and our bus driver Dave told us lots of interesting information about the area. It took us through a number of stops all the way out to Dove Lake.
When we arrived at Dove Lake, we saw multiple signs at the registration area where it tell you all the different walks that you could go on and how far they would be.
Dove Lake was amazing. Got to see this beautiful lake. The water was crystal clear and it was just beautiful fresh air there.
We could see the Cradle Mountain in the distance. There was a lot of cloud drifting past it, which was really pretty as well.
Walking around the circuit at Cradle Mountain is really easy. The paths are really wide, really well laid out, so it's easy for anyone to do the walk, even small kids.
We found a little boat shed. It was really pretty. We just took a few selfies in front of it and watched the kids playing on the rocks.
I'd recommend Dove Lake for people who like the cold and like taking photos.
Other kids that are up for a challenge, I do think they would definitely like it here. It's a lot of fun going through the track. It was a lovely day today, even though it was 10 degrees.
The drive to Cradle Mountain is well worth it. Amazing for the sceneries. So if you like cold, if you like scenery, this is the place to come. Getting in Apollo was really easy. After we arrived at the airport, it was literally only a few minute trip to where we picked up the vehicle. After we signed the paperwork and got into the Apollo, we started our journey across Tasmania. When I started driving the Apollo, I was, concerned about the length and size, and it sort of only took a couple of hours to get used to the dimensions of the vehicle. Once you get used to it, the roads in Tasmania are really well suited for driving RV. As long as you stay to the major highways and the major roads, you'll find no problems navigating.
It was really great. We passed through a number of towns that said RV friendly, and there were areas set up for us to stop off in the middle of town near tourist attractions. Really simple to find our way around.
Along the way, we stopped at a couple of big theme parks. It was a lot of fun playing on the big bouncing pillows that they all have.
Sleeping in the Apollo is really fun because me, my sister and my brother all get to share one big space up above the actual caravan itself.
I was sleeping like perfect. Hi. When we're travelling in the van, the three kids sit in the back at the dining table. There are seatbelts and we all sit there and we have a lot of fun looking at a big window that we really love and talk to each other the whole way.
We haven't done a motorhome holiday before, so it was really interesting to give it a go across Tasmania. It's really well set up here for this sort of adventure, and we've really enjoyed family life on the road.